Hey, welcome back to Black Lab Garage. A lot of people think that I'm against technology and newer things and, like engines and stuff. Why am I against it? Well, yeah. No. Kinda. Let me just explain it to you. You ready? Come on, let's get into it. Alright, what I mean by that is, there's been some comments, stuff like, technology's come a long way. You could get you a Coyote motor or a Godzilla motor. Sure, is there really an advantage? Is it really any better? Okay, so you tell me. I'm serious. You comment, tell me. Looking online, a new Godzilla engine is $8,500. 7.3 liter. Okay. That gets you the engine. Well, you still gotta have the ECU and you gotta have a transmission and all that. What I looked up, it's gonna cost you $10,000 for the engine, transmission, ECU to run all of it. The whole package. $10,000. And that gets you with the Godzilla 430 horsepower at 5,500 RPM and 475 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. That's pretty impressive, ain't it? No, not for 10 grand. And that's just buying you the engine, transmission, ECU. That's not hooding the vehicle and hooked up and everything modified to make it fit. If you're doing it yourself, you're going to save some. If you're paying somebody else to do it, what are you going to have in it? 15,000? Okay. Now, for comparison, let's look at a fuel-injected 460 that's had a carburetor put on it. A little bit bigger than stock camshaft, and literally, I mean, it idles at 680 RPMs. Smooth idle, not choppy at all. Okay. Hyperneutectic pistons, a little bit of port work on the heads, and that's it. And that produces 405 horsepower at 4,700 RPM and 527 pound-feet of torque at 3,200 RPM. So, a little less horsepower, but way more torque at a lower RPM than your Godzilla motor. Okay, now, the even better part is I got online doing some research to see what the fuel mileage was. Godzilla's fuel mileage sucks. You think a 460 is bad? Because I got online, got to reading guys that actually use them to pull and work with. Those guys are getting like 8-9 miles to a gallon. 460s can do better than that. So for $15,000, you got an engine that basically has the same output as a good 460, gets worse fuel mileage than a 460. Where's the advantage? Am I missing something here? I mean, truly, explain it. Where's the advantage? It lasts longer? Well, no, I've seen 460s, especially the late models. They'd run 200,000 to 300,000 miles. It's not a longevity thing. You've not got them beat there. You've not got them beat in fuel mileage. Not really got them beat in power. So for $15,000, all you really got was bragging rights. Woo! I got a Godzilla. I spent $15,000 to have the same power and worse fuel mileage than I could already had for. Oh God, how many 460s you can build for $15,000? That's what I'm saying. There's no advantage to it. And Coyotes don't even come close to the Godzilla, so. I mean, if you just want to spend the money, have at it. Go for it. Maybe you can make it a tax write-off or something. I don't know, but I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. Now, let's go on the flip side. Am I truly against technology? No, I am not. Believe it or not. I'll show you a prime example. Let's talk about cylinder heads. Some of you will know what this is. Some of you younger ones probably won't. See his head right here? This was king of the hill for Ford small blocks. This is a closed chamber 351 Cleveland 4-barrel head. Basically the same head that they put on the Boss 302. I mean, look at these orangutan ports. I mean, this was king of the hill for years, okay? And they do run good. But technology has made this obsolete. Because you see this the exhaust port has always been the weak spot on Fords. Okay, you see how big this one is? It flows 166 CFM in stock form. 166 CFM, and that's at 500 valve lift. I should add that. 500 valve lift, 166 CFM stock. Okay? Now, some of you remember these heads from a video I did early on. These are the NKB heads. You might recognize these heads. I got them from Skip White. He sold them as the NKB heads. What he does, he gets the casting in, but does all the machine work in-house on them. And he adds his own valve springs, retainers, and all that. This is the same head casting as the Blueprint Racing engine's head. Same head casting as the AFR Enforcer. It's all the same casting, okay? See the exhaust port? 172 CFM at 500 valve lift. Technology's come a long way, sure. This valve port, or this exhaust port, outflows the big 4-barrel Cleveland port. So these heads have made those obsolete. This is a better way to go. Now don't get me wrong, if you're building a numbers matching car, or if you just want a cool sounding and looking engine, build a Cleveland. I'm not saying don't build one, I'm saying, but financially, go this route. They weigh a lot less, they flow better, and you can buy a set of these cheaper than you can have a set of those heads fixed. You know, you can't buy them for what I gave for them back in there, because I think I give, it was either $849 or $899 for the pair. For the pair of heads. Ready to run. I took these two valves out, I have them. I took them out when I made that video. I mean, why would you even fool with that? When you can have a newer head that flows better, weighs less. So you see, I'm not against technology at all. I'm all for it when it makes sense. That's the key thing. When it makes sense. This makes sense. Putting a Godzilla in to have the same power and worse gas mileage does not make sense. So, some of you that think I'm just against technology, I'm old school. No, I'm not. I'm all for it when it makes sense. So I hope some of you understand what I'm talking about. And hey, comment. Tell me what you think. I mean, you ain't gonna hurt my feelings. If you think I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But at least, like I say, tell me why. So I hope this helps some of you, understand why I am like I am. And I hope it opens your eyes to some of you, or for some of you. If you were on the fence about buying one or not, because there's really nothing to gain there. And I didn't even mention that little spindly chain that runs the oil pump in a Godzilla and how it can cause problems, which is probably why Holly makes that kit that eliminates that little spindly chain. You know, that's a whole different topic. You know, so be sure and hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, and as always, listen to more Goose Creek. And stay tuned. Me and the folks will be back with another one. See you.